You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/future to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/future for 20% off. trustandwill.com/FUTURE.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Follow the Money is brought to you by ProfitX, the number one place to predict sports with the best odds. New users get up to $100 in bonus cash when they sign up with the code VSiNMM. Busy hour coming up. We'll get into the NBA in 15 minutes. We had a guest on this show this week who said the Rookie of the Year is not even close. You'll hear that audio. And Matt Youmans, bottom of the hour, with his best bets for the Final Four and beyond. You're going to hear from Derek Stevens as well in a few minutes on how this could change the entire landscape of the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. We do have a couple more games coming up tonight, Pauly, in Major League Baseball. Twins are at the Royals. This is Ryan against Cameron. So far, the story for KC has been the lack of hitting at the very top of the lineup, 1 through 7. Horrible slash numbers, 182, 261, 263. And their OPS is the worst in Major League Baseball. The rotation has been great. Second lowest ERA behind the Yankees. Now, Cameron, I had a huge ticket on him to win Rookie of the Year last year before that went up in smoke. But he did finish 4th overall in the voting, made 24 starts, 2.99 ERA, 9th lowest overall in the entire American League. He faced the Twins twice last year, solid numbers, 12-plus innings pitched, 0.73 with the ERA. The Twins have also lost 10 of 12 games at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah.
Ryan's first start this year for the Twins, 5 1/3, scoreless, 1 hit, 7 Ks. He's also phenomenal against the Royals, 8-1 with a 2.02 ERA, 11 career starts, 10 of them Minnesota wins, I should say. But the Royals are not striking out. So pitchers have gone under their K-prop in pretty much all these games against KC so far this year. Good observation, Mike Palm, previous hour, who said he wants to bet Joe Ryan's outs under if it's 16.5 or around that range, because Twins pitchers are not really going more than 85. I played his Ks under 5.5 based on that idea, and the Royals just not striking out. They're not hitting, but they're also not striking out.
Yep. We've had a lot of low-scoring games today as well. I'd say first 5 under in this one.
Okay.
And it's tough because you see the success that Ryan has had against the Royals, as you mentioned, but the bugaboo has been their issues in Kauffman Stadium. And they were a $1.20 favorite. Now it's come down in this game. So I would say the Ryan stuff, it would have to be tending to go the first 3 under, the first 5 under in this game with consider the pitch count and what Mike Palm said earlier. But it's kind of like the same case with the Dodgers, where the top of the order isn't hitting, yet the pitching's been great, and they're finding ways to get wins. I mean, this is scary that the Dodgers are 4-1. Tucker's 4 of 19. Mookie's 3 for 19. Freeman is 4 for 20. And Williams has horrible numbers, career, against the Dodgers, even though it's a short sample size. 0-3 with an ERA of 13. But this is another one here where it was scary, just like the Yankees. You know, how crazy do you want to get? But if the Dodgers are 4-1 and the top of the lineup isn't hitting and the pitching continues to be this strong, then hello, 100 wins, no problem. And the Yankees are already through the 7th inning, 4-0 top of the 8th.
Looking at the Opta AI projections right now on VSiN.com. They're all open. Go check it out right now. I highly encourage it. Yamamoto is projected right now for 7.11 Ks in the game. They only have a 4% edge in that spot. However, I will tell you that starting pitchers on the year, 5-1 over their K-prop. Sasaki had 4 on Monday. That K-prop was 3.5. Now, Ohtani, I'll grade it at 6.5 last night.
Yeah.
He did not go over that. He was brilliant. He had 6, but that qualifies as an under. But starting pitchers are 5-1 to the over. Yamamoto in his first start had 6 Ks against Arizona. I haven't bet it yet, though.
Okay. Good. All right. So Derek Stevens was in studio yesterday. This was awesome. And you got the owners' meetings going on in Phoenix. So this was also caught fire today, and I know Mike Florio said the same thing with Dan Patrick. But Derek was at the announcement that Las Vegas gets the Super Bowl in 2029, and the owners are already starting the hard push to go to 18 games, 18 regular season games. They always like to do we'll just, you're playing the games anyways. We'll just take one away from the preseason and put it in the regular season. But Derek had a great point, interesting point yesterday about the Atlanta and the Las Vegas Super Bowls. This was yesterday.
An 18-game schedule is a very heavy favorite, and I think an 18-game schedule with a double bye. So that's how you push this to the fourth Sunday in February as opposed to the second Sunday in February.
Yeah, that was my follow-up. It has to be mandatory to have 2 byes if you're going to go 18-game regular season, yeah?
It doesn't have to be. It all has to be negotiated. I mean, that's where I just think the money is too significant on the 18-game schedule. I think everybody wants to throw away the
Preseason.
Yeah, preseason games.
Damn right.
I don't think the thought of moving the schedule back earlier, I don't think you want to mess around with Labor Day weekend. There's too much that goes into it. Plus, the middle to end of February is ripe for the taking, and NFL can take what they want to take, and it's just too juicy right there.
Well said.
I think it's going to happen.
And he's also, he connected guy. It sounds like he's talking NFL owners because they're exactly right that they don't want anything to do with Labor Day. Start after that, and let's push this sucker back as far as we can into February. And 18 regular season, double bye, beautiful. And we talk about a late Super Bowl, and then you're looking at Super Bowl, season over, into championship week, and then into March Madness.
Just like that.
What a calendar.
Like no rest for the weary whatsoever.
But his point about notice that we don't have dates on those Super Bowls, that they're sitting there and waiting, and they want to do it as early as 2027. And I'm all for it.
Open dates. I mean, come on, Paul. Let's be realistic here. Open dates on those Super Bowls tells us one thing, and that is they want to push it back and make it an 18-game schedule. There's no question.
Yeah, and as Jerry Jones said, if the duck quacks, feed them. And like the players say they don't have the appetite, but there's too much money involved here.
Oh, they'll be
that you can make. And again, no one cares about the preseason, and it'd just be great to go 2 preseason, 18 regular season. They used to play 6 of these back in the day. Give me a break.
But 6 preseason?
Yeah. But to go 2 preseason, 18 regular season, double by what it means for contest, Survivor, I mean, that's phenomenal.
So, again, I don't know how they would possibly do this by not going 2 byes.
Right, yeah.
Unless they would just say, okay,
More
here's what we're...
attrition.
Because what would they do, Paul? Would they just have everybody take their bye from like weeks, 8 through 12 and give like 8 teams off every single week? Mm-hmm. So it's really small and it's all crunched up all at once. So in about a month span, every team's going to have their bye week and then we move to the second half of the season. Because you can't have teams getting their bye week in week 4 or 5. Or in theory, like then you don't want a team with their bye week like in week 14 or 15. That's far too long.
Yeah.
Give them 2, make people happy. Players would love that idea and then compensate them a little bit more as well, which they'll do. And oh, by the way, like the money that you're going to get from playing all of these standalone games from adding more to streaming devices, there's going to be more money for everybody.
Well, let me jump. Yeah, right. Because what you're talking about is they're getting rid of doubleheaders, Monday night doubleheaders. So they're going to take those games, and they're going to do a package to selling to the streaming services, and they want to do the Thanksgiving Eve game. This year, they want to do the Thanksgiving Eve game. And the other thing is, Kraft said this, they want every team to play an international game. Today they announced Ravens, Cowboys, and Rio. But they want every team international, 18, 2 preseason, let's go.
Did you see what week that would be? I saw some reports saying like week 3.
The Cowboy game?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Like right out of the gates.
Thought that'd be something.
Not to begin the year, but like in week 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And then basically with all those international games and when everybody, if that's what they want, again, they're going to, usually when the NFL wants something, they absolutely get it and it doesn't take that long. Like they're not going to beat around the bush and this is going to happen in the next 10 years. Like this is going to happen in the next year or 2 probably. So then you're going to have an international game, which, by the way, when we did the Sunday morning show this past year, the tailgate show, it was, pretty awesome to have those games on. I'm not going to lie.
That's asking a lot, though, of the fan if you're going to go. I don't think they're going to do that. But if you go early starts, that's asking a lot of the fans.
How so? What do you mean?
If you're doing the 6:30 a.m. Pacific starts.
Oh, you mean like every
single week?
It makes for long days, man.
That's a long day.
Can't lie.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
I don't know what the start times would be, but and certainly we have a night game to start in Australia with the Niners and Rams.
Yeah, there was a stretch where they played some of those London games at 1 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, there was.
And 10 o'clock out
in
here.
In that window, right.
Yeah, and they didn't have the 9:30 Eastern kickoff time. They could, in theory, go back to that if they realize that. But again, like the numbers are going to pop, right? The ratings are going to be incredible.
Yeah.
They put them at 9:30 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine you can bank on that every single day. So now your day, if you live on the East Coast, is going to go from 9:30 until, 11:30? Just put it on the calendar.
Are you mad at ESPN for what they did last week with Simpson? With Orlovsky, which turns out to be just a bunch of bunk, it appears. We're just going to try to get in.
It felt pretty obvious.
Well, Dan Orlovsky said this, so now it was like the Schefter thing a couple of years ago. He sat on the Aaron Rodgers story to break it on the morning of the NFL draft.
That's right.
Why would you? It doesn't. Some of the stuff they do is bizarre.
Yeah, they made it like a big deal, like Simpson. And by the way, maybe Simpson is the better quarterback than Mendoza, right? Maybe that happens.
Well, now you got pushback just saying this is outrageous, and forget about top 12 and all this. The latest mock on you have Orlovsky saying that, and then a couple days later there's a mock on ESPN, and they have him going second round.
Yeah, and other people now. I think some of these scouts are probably past their prime,
right?
But with the way that they were talking about Simpson, it sounded like they were kind of old and curmudgeon-y, and they almost had like a bias towards the kid at some point, which I hope is not the case. But they said he's slow, unathletic. Basically, called him a little white guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's solid analysis, pal. You might want to call it quits or whatever. But I would lean that way too. Like he never did. GMs really watch Simpson in Alabama and say those, oh my God, this guy, unbelievable, best quarterback in the draft.
Never happened.
Yeah.
Certainly not better than Mendoza.
Yeah. We had a guest on the show this week who says the rookie of the year isn't even close in the NBA. You're going to hear it coming up next.
This is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/future to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/future for 20% off. trustandwill.com/future.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, time for NBA action tonight. I will compare what's going on in Major League Baseball to a game that we have in the NBA card, and that is Nick Pivetta today for the Padres. He went 5 innings, but he was really good in a bounce-back spot because he was not great on opening day, and Nick Pivetta was off to a rip-roaring start last year for like a couple of months to begin the season. Padres lead the Giants 3-1, and last year in like 17 starts, I think he was 8-3 overall with awesome numbers after a Padres loss. Sometimes you have like streak stoppers, or the coach will get a team's attention much more after a loss and after they're, winning by 30 points and they're feeling great about themselves. Tonight in the NBA, I think the comparison might be the Celtics on the road taking on Miami. Now, it feels like that Celtics Heat playoff series, the one in which Miami led 3-0 to go to the NBA Finals, and the Celtics came back to tie it up at 3 before they lost in Game 7. It felt like it happened like last year. It didn't. That's now 2023. We're 3 years removed from that. But since then, basically, Boston in South Beach, 7-0 straight up, 6-1 ATS over their last 7. And off the loss to the Hawks earlier this week, some great numbers for the Celtics. Off a straight-up loss, they are 18-6 straight up in their next game, 16-8 against the spread. Again, at most books, laying about 4.5 tonight total here at circa 229.5, and they actually have 5 now on Boston. Another good angle is the opposing team total after a loss. And this, again, could be Missoula, not happy with the team. They still haven't won the division. They certainly would like to do that, be as high as possible with their seed in the Eastern Conference. Teams have gone under their total 18 out of 24 games this year. The Hawks' current team total in this game is around 113. And that has been a bang-up, dynamite job by the Celtics getting right after a loss throughout this regular season. That same Hawks team that they lost to, taking on the Magic tonight, and the Hawks somehow are like almost running away with this division the way it feels. They're up to a 3-point favorite now here at Circa. Total is 234.5. Home teams in the last 6 between these two, and that would qualify Orlando here tonight. They're 5-1 straight up and ATS. And give Orlando credit. They bounced back after that ridiculous 31-0 run that was allowed to Toronto by beating Phoenix. Also, Hawks on one-day rest since November of 2021 are 30 games over the total. 30 games over 500 over the total with a one-day rest spot like tonight since November of 2021. There's also the tanking parlay that you have tonight because you have 5 teams that really qualify, but I'll throw on a 6th team for the parlay because the Warriors are they're down everybody basically in the game, and they get the Spurs. So Philly is laying a huge number. That's currently, well, it's down a couple of points actually, about 14.5 at the Wizards. The Knicks are laying 14.5 at the Grizzlies, so fade the Grizzlies. The Bucks are now catching as high as 18.5 at Houston. The Kings are catching 12.5 at Toronto. The Jazz are at home catching 17 against the Nuggets. By the way, that total is now 250.5. And the Spurs are 14 at Golden State, like I said. Tom Habistro had a great breakdown at Yahoo Sports.
Incredible.
Calling it the A-League versus the B-League. Teams that care, want to make the playoffs against teams that have been tanking. But more specifically, when the B-League plays the A-League. And these streaks are absolutely nuts. The Wizards are 0-20 last 20 against the A-League. The Kings are 1-23 in action tonight, last 24. The Jazz are 1-14 last 15. Grizzlies 1-17 last 18, and Bucks 1-12 over their last 13 games against teams that care, playoff teams, or Tom considered to be in the A-League. Again, if you want to throw the Spurs winning tonight in Golden State because of all of the injuries to Golden State, that would bring it down to minus 165 on a 6-leg money line parlay. Who screws that up, Pauly?
I can't see it tonight.
I think it's a good one tonight.
Nope. And I know, I think we're 4-1 doing this. And how the hell did the Mavs beat Portland at home?
No kidding.
In Portland, catching 11. That was the one loser, but it paid plus 180 last week. And I know Mike Palm just eviscerated Adam Silver, and rightfully so. I don't think you can ever stop tanking, especially how important these number one picks are. But the easiest thing to do was reward winning or also put in there something with points, like losing by 12 or fewer.
Right.
That's the other thing. Because it's night in, night out. Half the card, you're seeing 17-point favorites. Denver's laying 17 on the road. And the Habistro breakdown is fantastic. So I'm with you on that one. And the other way, hopefully you can take advantage of that and take advantage of 2 superstars. Wemby has his shot tonight on TV against Golden State, one of the teams that fits, even though Golden State's not tanking, but they're so bad with guys out. Then you have SGA on national TV against the Lakers tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's toe-to-toe, going for the MVP. One guy, I'll let my play do the talking. The other one, I want the award. here's my case, and a move from 23 to 1 down to plus 250 in less than 2 weeks. So the ladder's with Wembanyama tonight, and I would go as high as 30, 35 points. And what he can do, rebounds, 41 and 16 in the last game, and a double-double 8 minutes into the game. So it's staggering what he's doing right now. And if you ladder him and find ways to get creative, like we talked about earlier with the Colorado Avalanche, you have to get creative with Wembanyama props and what he's doing, filling up the box score and trying to get this MVP award. And an incredible run. I think it's 25-1 record when he plays for the Spurs going back.
And yesterday on the show, we brought on Henry Abbott, great guest, does a great job on this sport at True Hoop and TrueHoop.com. And we asked him about the MVP award, who he would go there. But then we also did a follow-up by saying, like, who would you give the NBA Rookie of the Year award to? And here's what he said.
It's not even close to me. I did a little research because I was going to be on this show. And, I mean, if you look into any advanced stats, right, anything that involves offense and defense, Knippel's been way better. Ooh. I don't even think Cooper's been like top 3. So, and the Mavericks have been so bad. It's no disrespect to Cooper Flag, who's going to be a marvelous player, but in earned wins, just to cite one stat from Dunks and Threes, very respected website. Con is at 9.6 earned wins on the season. Cooper's at 3.9, which trails even VJ Edgecombe. So, yeah, I think he's good, but I don't think he's Rookie of the Year.
No, not even close, he said. Kneppel should win it going away.
Minus 230, minus 250. He touched on it briefly, but Brian Geltzlager was on earlier. You got to look at the record. I mean, the Mavs are losing every single night, and they set a franchise record for losing streak at home, in home games.
Yeah, I came around to that idea.
That's got to mean something and carry it at the end of the day.
Right. I don't think you can do that in football because it's too big of a roster that you're talking about. And by the way, you're going to go to a really bad team in football to begin like a top 10 pick. You're generally going to do that in basketball. However, one player can be that important to a turnaround, obviously. That's why these number 1 picks overall, some GMs have said they're worth like $100 million.
Yes.
And when Kneppel is going to have his fingerprints all over this team and be a big part of the reason why they have been in the mix the entire year to win that division and certainly be a possible playoff team, that means more and should completely outweigh, even if Cup's Flag's numbers are slightly better, because he hasn't played in a meaningful game since like November.
Yeah. This guy's, at least in the play-in, and they have a great record.
Well,
but for him, that's a strong comment. When you look at the markets, and he's only 240 to win it, and it shouldn't even be close.
Right. Now, I think it was Monday's show before we brought on Geltzlager today or Abbott yesterday. I said if I could trust award voters, I would pound the current number on Kneppel, because to me it feels like he should be minus 1,000 or higher than that.
Yeah.
It should be a runaway award, but I don't know if vote. JBT keeps thinking that some of these people maybe made up their minds like in January and just, okay, I've seen enough, Flag's got to win it.
Oh, that's outrageous.
That's what I think too.
No way. What happened here? What happened?
What's the score?
It's 4-2 now. The bullpen imploded. It was 4-0 bottom of the 8th, and the bases loaded with 2 out, and Rowley got a hit. So there goes the record. We're not going to have a chance at history. And now you got to see if you can win the game. 4-0 bottom of the 8th. 2 hits and a walk to load the bases, and then a base hit.
They pulled Schlittler at what, 78 pitches, I believe?
Oh, man.
Oh, boy, if they blow this one. Well,
that would be a moose and a half.
That was Dumper, but here's Rodriguez, who,
1 hit on the season?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
We're brought to you by ProfitX. If you're not on ProfitX, Masters Week, the perfect time to start. Sign-up bonus, $100 in bonus cash. Promo code VSiNMM. It's the Masters of Your Domain contest at ProfitX. Make one play of $50 or more on any market, win or lose, and you get an entry to a $1,000 golf prize of your choice. A round of golf, a $1,000 club of your choice, or a $1,000 gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose, you're still in the running. Download ProfitX, get the app, code VSiNMM. Make your first purchase, earn the bonus, and get in on the action at Augusta. ProfitX, code VSiNMM.
First of all, you got to sign up just for them saying Masters of Your Domain. Youmans next. Best bets in the Final Four coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Well, Yankees got out of it anyway. Damage was done a little bit anyway. It's 4-2 now. They go to the top of the ninth.
They can only tie the record now.
Okay. Fewest runs allowed over the first six games.
Yeah.
They set the record last night. Fewest through 5. They could have set it again today. But still, I mean.
Hats off.
Yeah, no kidding. And we go to the progressive guest line now. Matt Youmans, VSiN host, is a lifelong Yankees fan. I'm sure that you sat back and watched Schlittler again today. Is that correct? I mean, Mike, I can't believe this ticket that you have on the guy to win the Cy Young.
I did actually bet Schlittler first 5 today, and my hesitation there was he only threw 68 pitches in the first game, so I wasn't sure how deep he would go, and that's why I wanted to play first 5 instead of game today. But I talked to you about this future, and I was talking with Chris Massaro about it before the season, and Chris was mentioning how dominant Cam Schlittler was against the Red Sox in the wild card round last year, and we were about to do the VSiN MLB Futures Draft. And I thought, I like Nolan McLean of the Mets. I like Cam Schlittler of the Yankees. So I played each one to win Cy Young. At DraftKings at the time, I think both were 50-1. And I went to the Westgate Superbook, and Cam Schlittler was 300-1. I couldn't believe it. I had to double check. 300-1 was the real price. Now, I'm not counting my money by any stretch at this point. You got a lot of competition to deal with in the American League, including Max Fried right there in the Yankees staff. Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox, Scuball of the Tigers. But Cam Schlittler sure as hell looks like the real deal. I mean, the guy's velocity is off the charts. He looks like he's got the mental makeup to do it in New York. He's going to get hyped. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, through 2 starts, 11 2/3 innings, he's allowed 3 hits, no walks, and struck out 15. He threw 68 pitches in the first start and 79 today. And Paul, Mitch, when this Yankees rotation is fully healthy, this is going to be a bear.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Aaron Boone just can't screw it up. And Rice just went deep, so it's 5-2 Yankees. NIT semis tomorrow, and Mike Palm and Derek Stevens at the games tonight. The Crown at the MGM, the quarterfinals. We start with Oklahoma, open 5.5 up to 9. Couple guys out for Colorado. What do you think, Matt?
I agree with the move, and I was going to pull the trigger on the Sooners, and I was a little too slow to do it. So now I don't want to lay the worst number, but I do like the Oklahoma side, and trying to figure out if I want a money line parlay with that or something. I don't know. I'm going to be at the game tonight. I'm also possibly looking over 163.5 here. I think defense is going to be optional in a game like this. I went out there last year. Defense was optional in these games. It's kind of like AAU games. This Oklahoma team actually down the stretch, first of all, Sooners have really good guards in Nigel Pack and Xavier Brown. Tay Davis and Darion Reed are good post players. We talked about this, I think, after the NCAA tournament selection show, that I don't know how Oklahoma was left out of the field and SMU got in. SMU never should have been in the field. And Oklahoma was worthy of the 68-team field. Sooners actually down the stretch went 8-3. They had a win at Vandy, 92-91, beat Georgia 94-78. They were scoring close to, over 80 points in pretty much every game. Had a bunch of quality wins down the stretch, including Auburn, Missouri, Texas A&M, and lost Arkansas by 3 in the SEC tournament. This Oklahoma team's legit. So I'd either play the favorite or pass here. I am going to look over the total in this game as well tonight. And I think it's great that Derek Stevens and Circa are playing a part in sponsoring this event. I know some people, I heard JVT on his show today talking that he just can't get fired up about it. That's not for everybody, but I think it's cool to have games we can watch and bet on Final Four week. And you got some pretty good teams out here in Vegas as well.
Yep, well said. Anything on Baylor in Minnesota? Baylor up to 4 in some spots.
Yep, I'm playing the Gophers here. Okay. I took the Gophers +4. I really like Nico Medved as a coach, and Gophers typically play a slow-it-down style. I don't know if they'll do that tonight. The total's right around 147, 148. But Baylor, pretty unimpressive to me down the stretch. 3-7 in the last 10 games. If you guys remember, it was late February on a Tuesday night. Minnesota played at Michigan and gave the Wolverines all they could handle that night. And I really think Nico Medved made a lot of strides with this team in the second half of the season. Cade Tyson is a stud guard. Jalen Crocker-Johnson, who is out in several games late in the season, I think is going to be there tonight. So we were talking about a Colorado team with 3 starters out. Well, I think you got a Minnesota team here at full strength against Baylor. I'm going to play the coach I think is best here. And the guard combination I like a lot. Tyson and Crocker Johnson go with the Gophers +4.
All right, Matt Youmans, our guest, progressive guest line. Follow him on X at Matt Youmans 24/7. Have you bet both Final Four games yet?
So I'm not. I haven't, and I'm not. I'm gonna live bet these games because we got UConn 15-1. I've got Michigan 20-1 from way back before the season. So I don't need to bet UConn or Michigan, and those are the 2 sides I do prefer here. But I also think these are going to be really good live betting games. When you've got spreads around pick'em 1, 2, especially this Michigan-Arizona game, I'm not even sure you should bet it before the game. Live bet it. I don't know how you can have that strong of an opinion on either side. I don't know how you can sit there and say, well, Arizona's going to dominate Michigan, or Michigan's going to dominate Arizona. It's not. It's going to be more like an NBA game. I think we're going to have big runs both ways, and the value is going to be in live betting that game. I do side with Michigan. I planted my flag with the Wolverines before the tournament, and I'm going to stay there. And I think the difference with Michigan, I really like Dusty May and I like Tommy Lloyd a lot. But the difference with Michigan is the front line of Ade Mara, obviously Axel Lindeborg, and Morez Johnson. And if you look at those 3 guys, I think Arizona is going to have a lot of trouble scoring at the rim. And we know the Wildcats don't shoot a lot of threes. Only 26% of their field goal attempts come from 3. That ranks 363 out of 365 in college basketball. So if you can't score at the rim and you're Arizona, or you have trouble scoring at the rim, what's Michigan want to do? They want to push the Arizona offense out. They want to force these guys to take mid-range, take threes. They're going to get them out of their game. And I think, a team like Michigan that can defend the rim and score at the rim at a little better rate than Arizona has an edge in this game. Not a big edge, but a little bit of an edge here. And I do like Michigan. But like I said, I think, I know a lot of people have Michigan futures. I know some who have Arizona futures. I would seriously advise live betting this game because I think that's where your value is going to come instead of betting it pregame.
How many Masters bets do you have?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to talk about the other game as well before we jump to the Masters, just for a minute. So last week I made UConn like a 3.5-point underdog to Duke, and I made UConn a 1-point favorite over Illinois. And I thought maybe I was a little bit too biased in my rating with UConn because I like Dan Hurley so much. And I also value the experience factor with Alex Karaban. And the Huskies, and Karaban averaged 22 points in the first 3 tournament games. Obviously, he slumped against Duke. He had 5 points, I think 2 for 10 from the field, hit that big 3 late. Maybe my numbers are a little bit off. But I went back and watched Illinois first half against Penn in the first round. I watched the Illinois-Iowa game. I'm not blown away by this Illini team. And by the way, defensively, they rank last in all of college basketball in forcing turnovers. I played UConn in the last 3 games, so I'm going to stick with UConn.
Okay. 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. How many Masters bets?
I've got about 7. I think I've got 7 so far. And I've got Scotty Scheffler tied into some futures parlays, and I just bet Scheffler again at plus 500. When I saw his odds go up to 5-1, I thought it was worth a shot. I know he's waiting for the baby to be delivered. He's not in the best form, but that's okay with me because now he's kind of coming into the Masters without all the hype surrounding him. And I like the fact that his numbers going up, and a lot of people are doubting Scheffler going in here. The 2 guys I think are really dangerous, and I've bet one of them so far, and I'm trying to decide if I want to bet the other, are Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm. And I've played a bunch of mid-range shots around 40 to 50 to 1. I've played a couple 100 to 1 long shots. But if you look at DeChambeau and Rahm, these guys have been playing exceptionally well on the LIV Tour lately. I know a lot of people don't pay attention to that, but they just had a playoff. DeChambeau and Rahm went head-to-head. They were 26 under, and Bryson won it. Bryson was in the final pairing with Rory last year at Augusta, faded on Sunday. Rahm's obviously won here before. These guys are in peak form coming to Augusta, and I think they're a bit under the radar because they're playing on LIV. But right around the 12-1 range, I think you need to give these guys a look going into next week. But like I said, I have bet Bryson at 12-1. I have not bet Rahm yet. I've got about 7 plays. Mitch, you do the futures pod with JVT. You're probably like me. You get to the Masters at this point because the odds been up for so many months. You probably already bet more players than you want, but you're going to end up betting more, right?
Yeah, I'm at 6 right now, I believe, is the total count that I have. So I might be good with that. But you know how this works, Matt. Like next week, there might be a rogue number. You're like, oh, my God, how do I possibly pass that up? You know?
Exactly.
The guys at Mama's Pizza love Fat Pat Reed.
Others do, too.
Yeah, he's very popular.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
Enjoy the hoops tonight, Matt.
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
Thank you. Masters almost here. If you think you know the field better than the average bettor, time to prove it. The VSiN High-Stakes Masters Challenge on Splash Sports. $500 entry, $100K guaranteed. Fantasy tiers contest built specifically for golf bettors. You draft 6 guys. Your top 5 scores count. Lowest score combined across all 4 rounds wins. Head to splashsports.com/VSiN. Code VSiN. This is awesome. Splashsports.com/VSiN. Code VSiN.
An algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right. It's official. The worst trade in the history of sports. Nico Harrison. A lot of people are just saying he should own it. And that the Lakers should also build a statue for him.
Well, that would be amazing. If that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. You want to call it still worse than Herschel Walker?
Yes.
Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah. But they played Mike Lynn, the GM. Like, he had no idea that they were going to cut the players, and then the players then would become draft picks. And how Jimmy Johnson toyed with them.
Right, okay.
But also, they didn't shop Luka. That's the whole thing.
That's the kicker, to the whole thing.
Let's keep it a secret. And so they make the trade. They're worried about his health and breaking down, and they trade for a guy who's injured more than Anthony Davis. And he ended up playing only 29 games before he was traded, and what it did to the home crowd and how it was a home court disadvantage. Anyways, we only got 10 days left in the season. I can't believe the people that were making the case for this team. Look what their win total was. People thought they were going to go 500. No, I didn't see the tanking coming and just punting on the trade, getting rid of Davis and whatever.
But that part definitely.
But that was very, because you knew Kyrie wasn't coming back. To think they were going to go 500 to me was lunacy. So Mavs win total under, an easy winner. Allen over points, an easy winner. He got that early in the second quarter. But as far as the game, a loser. Lakers were fantastic. Luka fantastic. And the one concern I had, you might see shenanigans here down the stretch with the Cavs, who do not want to see Boston, and they want to get that 4 seed in the worst way. Astros an easy winner, and they lost today. The A's broke out of it last night, at least got the bats going, but couldn't do anything today. So that was no good. And the Padres broke out of it today, although most of it occurred against the Giants' bullpen.
Well, and by the way, you're going to have this in win-lose tomorrow. It's going to qualify as a bad beat with the total.
Yep. So much of this going on with bullpens. So the new plays, we still have the pending UConn +2. Total games in the tourney to go to overtime, under 3.5. And Hornets to make the playoffs, no. That's still available right now. Again, they're going to have to win 2 games.
Yeah. Rub that one right in my face. Why don't you?
Sorry about that, but he's still live. Okay, so again, read the write-up if you still have time. Go to VSiN.com. Jonathan Davis has an excellent write-up today. When do you see a $5 favorite in hockey? But there's so many different ways to attack this Avalanche game. Number one, they jump on teams at home, and they score in the first couple minutes on a regular basis. But I'm not going to go nuts. I will lay a half a goal in the first period, $1.20, and go over 1.5 goals, -160. And then what we talked about all show long, the tank parlay, which is -165 tonight. You are taking the Sixers, the Knicks, the Raptors, the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Spurs on a moneyline parlay. The Warriors are not tanking, but they have so many guys out, And the Spurs are 26-2 in their last 28. They are 14.5 on the road. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I asked earlier which team screws that up. I will be surprised tonight if that one doesn't cash.
I'll be stunned. Yeah, well, you'd be talking about a 14-point favorite going down.
All right, Pistons finally graded last night. That's a winner to take down that division, 6-1.
Good job. A lot of people in the Army had it too. We were on that early, and that was easy.
Lakers under 46.5. No good. I bet that first month. I remember because Luka got hurt, LeBron was hurt, and
you were down on that team early on.
Well, there was a lot not to like.
Yeah.
And then they kept it together when LeBron wasn't coming back right away. Luka got hurt, and that's what I think helped out with them going over their win total.
The clutch, Luka in the clutch, and winning all close games. Yeah.
Now I'm proud of myself. Look, I've gotten a lot wrong since I think the date was July 25th. That was the date though it was after the summer league. We were back from vacation. Hornets win total was 24.5. I made the case. I was very strong on it. Over 24.5 was even money. I said playoffs at 14-1. And if you want to get nuts, 250-1 or better to win the division.
It's a great call. When do you see? When are you going to get this opportunity? With a week left in the season, you're live 200-1 to win a division.
And they just had a couple of. And man, if I could go back
losses
in time and they could get back that 4-14 start to this year,
that too,
they might run away with that division. Regardless, I'm hoping they still get in the playoffs. Obviously, to cash those tickets, but I might be hedging like you are, kind of taking them not to get in.
Yeah.
Last night, McClanahan had 4 strikeouts, so under 4.5 plus 149 got there. Fott never had it. He had the innings, not the Ks, so 5+ for him, no good. And I put a bunch of stuff today on the VSiN picks page. Schlittler, mini ladder here. Over 5.5 was minus 120. Over 6.5, both got there, was plus 165. Also on the picks page, Christopher Sanchez, I put up there over 6.5 earlier today, minus 132. That got home. I don't know what else we have here for some of my new stuff. Pending Hornets to make the playoffs 14-1, playing games 4-1. And I have Joe Ryan under 5.5 Ks tonight. That's minus 122. And then I made 2 of these bets. Again, I put these up on the picks page before today. Circa only offered most wins in April. Put a half unit on Braves most wins this month, 18-1. Pirates most wins in April at 28-1. I know it's probably too late, but I did put those up on the picks page. For those of you who get that email, get the send out.
Braves off to a good start.
Yeah, also, I don't know what to make of the A's, though, at this point. And I already forget, who did Atlanta open the season with?
It was an easy team, I believe. Let me look.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they also have injuries to worry about here on the staff, but they're off to a pretty decent start, like you mentioned.
Yep.
Sale way under
again.
his K-prop today. It was 8.5. He had 3, I believe, in the game.
Yep. 4-2 on the season. Where the heck is it?
And I'll...
Kansas City. Kansas City in the A's to start. Right. We're brought to you by Profit X. If you're not on Profit X yet, Masters Week, the perfect time to start. New users get a sign-up bonus up to $100 in bonus cash just for signing up. The code is VSiNMM. It's creative. It's awesome. The Masters of Your Domain contest. Profit X. Make one play of $50 or more in any market. Win or lose. You get an entry to win a $1,000 golf prize of your choice. You can pick from a $1,000 round of golf, a club of your choice, or a $1,000 gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're still in the running. Download the Profit X app, code VSiNMM. Make your first purchase, earn it, earn that bonus, and get in on the action at Augusta. Download Profit X today, code VSiNMM. Great job.
I'll give you a team right now in Major League Baseball that's going to look a hell of a lot better in July and August than they have for the first week of the year. How the hell is Seattle? How do they have 3 wins?
No kidding.
They're 3-4.
It's a miracle.
That tells me their pitching is, as good as we thought. Maybe they can't hit anybody right now. Raleigh came through today a little bit with that 2-run double, I believe it was.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
To get it within 4-2. Rodriguez has been an absolute disaster. Naylor can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
This team, I believe, much like last year, well, they're going to stay on top of this division or be right there with, I believe, Texas pretty much the entire year. I would imagine that they're going to be buyers at the deadline yet again. They did that last year. They brought in both Suarez and Naylor, and you can kind of go back and look at that series to go to the World Series against the Blue Jays. I thought they gave it away. But they're going to look way better in the next couple of months. And I hope they actually keep losing some games here and not doing anything on offense. But maybe you can get a better number or an inflated number on the Mariners to like win the American League. Although I will say, I am buying the Yankees.
You're damn right you are.
I'm absolutely buying the Yankees.
Yep. This is good. Because the viewer wanted Lankin in first period saves. And Colorado jumps on you. And what they've done, the Calgary game, 9-2, 29 shots in the first period, whatever. Jonathan Davis, it's the front end of a back-to-back. They're not going to pull him. Over 29.5 saves.
For the whole game.
For the whole game.
If you can find, again, that was at FanDuel at the first period. I kind of like that angle to ladder it up. It's just an ambush.
Okay. Other guys checking in. If you don't have the stomach for the $1.60, you can add Colorado money line. You can add Oklahoma money line tonight in college basketball. Also, Ohtani's up to what, 35, 36 game on base streak?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, his walk's been $1.20. Food for thought because he's not hitting. He's 4 for 20, but that's another one. Ohtani and Freeman 4 for 20. Mookie 3 for 19. Tucker 4 of 19. They're 4-1.
Yeah.
And Williams has got an ERA of 13 and 3 starts against the Dodgers. Dodgers up to 3.10 at DraftKings.
I'll give you another one. If you want to do the tanking parlay tonight, and if you love a team to win the national title, I don't know how you can at this point. Why not throw that on there? Like if you like Michigan against Arizona, bet them to win the national title with the tanking parlay tonight. That'll bump it up a little bit. Stay tuned. VSiN Primetime next. Femi Abebefe and also Will Hill going to take you through the entire live betting night. Good luck with your bets.